Yeah. So, hello everybody. My name is Chris. I stay in South Africa. I'm about 44 years old, and this is me rambling about crazy things. Now, today I watched videos of Ryan, my new favorite YouTube person, and Blair White. Two totally awesome people. Two very different human beings, but I'm fascinated by everybody's opinion about what they post and what they don't post on YouTube, where I'm going to upload this. Anyway, so this is my baby. Let me just show everybody my kitty. You can see my cat. If I can show my video of my kitty. He's such a. Oops, there's it. Look at that. That's a perfect stitch. Anyways, so I'm lying in bed. Ramblings of a crazy mind. Uh, Finished a few hours of work. I work for an amazing company called Ripco. Anyways, we make excellent food, have amazing staff, and excellent people that work for us. Let me check this camera. So, why did I record today? And I see on my YouTube videos, I almost never record any videos. Well, the purpose of this is to mainly talk about a couple of things that I learned about today. Well, the one thing that I learned about today was that woman that left Erin, that left a message before she died, and she was found in her car 5 days later. Rest in pieces. Rest in peace, I mean. Um, she left a message saying that we're living in a matrix universe. Now, the reason why this is so strongly part of my existence is the fact that I think it's true. Hear me out. Over the last few years, I have come across books and a little bit of experiences that has shown me a picture of the universe unlike we normally don't see. Now, don't misunderstand me here. I question everything. If you're religious and you're against any of my topics, don't continue to listen. Okay. What I want to say is that so a few years ago I asked God, listen, dude, I'd really like to see the universe as is. There's a part in the Bible that's written, we only see partially, but someday we'll see completely. Now, I'm not a religious nut, so I'm not quoting the Bible over and over. I like that saying because it prompted me to ask the question from the universe or God, whatever created everything, to show me more than 2%. And suffice it to say, I did. I came across stuff that blew my mind, and I can never switch it off. But the whole point is this: too many things in our universe is pointing to a controlled system. Now, I do this as a controlled system due to the fact that we can't say if it's controlled by aliens or alternate robots like in the Matrix movies. Great movies, by the way. And or God or the universe or something like that. But I've seen a structure that explains certain things like political systems, school systems, computer programs. It's been a long day. So, from all of this, I've drawn the conclusion that we are living in a matrix type universe, excuse me, and there's about 1% of the universe, maybe more, maybe less. I call them woke people, WOKE, woke people. Reason being is that those people are like me. We see things differently. We see patterns, we see things underlaying everything. Some versions of me become hackers, some versions of me become psychopaths, some versions of me becomes the crime bosses. These are people that can see the system and choose to operate outside of it. Meaning 99% of the human race follows the money, the political reasons, this, that, belief systems, up is down, up is up, down is down, left is right. Those 99% of people, you can argue with me about the whole could be more, could be less, doesn't really matter. The whole point is that the select few of people that are woke, I like to call them woke, um, seems to operate outside of this system, can see the system, can manipulate the system. The reason why I want to bring this up is I play games a lot, like a frick load of games. I'm like heavy into games. My recent ones, I finished Star Wars Jedi Fallen Knight on PS4. And basically, what happened was I finished it in about a week, maybe more, maybe less. I didn't really check the time. But anyways, it generally happens like this, where I would buy a game, or I would borrow a game from a friend, or PSN would give you a free game. And if it's a game that I like, I talk it. The recent games was Death Stranding. Hold on, I'm coming to my point. Death Stranding, Jedi Fallen Knight, GTA 5, Red Dead Online, Red Dead Redemption, Horizon Zero Dawn, and a couple of other games. My brain very quickly sees the pattern of the enemies, of the game, the rules, the regulations, and then I operate outside of it and I can manipulate it. People like me create cheat codes, methods of adjusting the game so that it benefits them. Some people make billions in GTA Online PC versions. Anyways, um, what I found with me is like on Star Trek Online, I would get to a certain point, then I've achieved everything that I set out to do as the goal. Now, getting back to my point about this Matrix world, I can see the rules and regulations and the pattern and the system that we live in and operate outside of it. Don't get me wrong, I do go to work, I do pay money, I do petrol, I do car, I do the things that are operating within the rules of our system. But I don't get bogged down by the little nitty gritty things. When I look at people, I can analyze their body language. I can interact with friends and people. Um, I've been told that I've got good leadership skills, that I'm likable. I'm assuming that I am because I've got very few enemies. Don't have people that dislike me. I just don't have people that are, what can I say? That are not hateful towards me. I don't smoke. I don't drink. So for me, being I like to put myself outside of the on the 1%, where I'm not completely outside of the system and I'm not completely inside of the system. It's like I'm skirting the edges of the system, and there are other people in our universe that operate the same way. Some people that are very much deep into the system. That I know people that get upset if they have less than this amount of money per month, or they have not the greatest outfits or the greatest makeup or the greatest hairdo, or whatever the system presents towards them. Like those famous sisters, we're not going to mention them because just now somebody's going to bash me for saying, "Oh my God, Chris, how can you do this? How can you do that? How can you say these things about these people?" My point is this: here's the 99% of people, and here's the 1% of people. These 99% of people, let me quote Matrix. No, this is not Matrix. Um, these people don't want to wake up. They don't want to be outside of the system. They like the system. That's why when I read about Erin today, and when they explained her death and how she had a breakdown, or whatever reason they came up with, and I found so many people instantly accepted it as something that is part of who they are. Uh, it's like, what is that one rule that says the simplest answer is normally the correct answer? So now, let's say somebody did kill her, then because it's more common knowledge that no, somebody could die of an attack or something, uh, then that means that you as a human being cannot be woke. You cannot be out of the system. So these 99% of people just somewhat accepted the fact that there is no matrix system around us. There's no set system that is controlling this. Um, there's no underlying rules and regulations that are, I would say, make us sheep people. It's a cool word I heard once. But anyways, I'm rambling. My point is this: because I skirt the outside of the system, I can see the system and I can manipulate it. Now, I have high morals, so I don't tend to break that system. I tend to find a way to improve it. Like, I always joke that in another life I could have become a computer hacker. I'm very good with coding. I'm still learning. Very good with languages. I see the structures in it and I understand it. Excuse me. The purpose of my conversation right now is that the 1% of us that are woke is the 1% that cannot be manipulated by the system to fall in line 100%. Like in the Matrix, this is the part that stuck in my head a long time, where that guy says you're an anomaly that the system has to produce in order to operate perfectly. Uh, to me, I suspect there's a select few of people on this planet, maybe more, maybe less, I don't know, that operates outside of the system willingly. And maybe, my opinion is that maybe this Erin lady figured out what was going to happen to the system, or that we are in the system. She went from the 99% to the 1% too quickly, and that snapped her awake. Maybe she disconnected, maybe she died. Um, Her words, it's all a game. We're living in a matrix. I'm not quoting it perfectly. It resonates so well with me. Because no matter what you call this, controlled system, 99, 90%, 5% of the human population, Illuminati, whatever, is controlling the 90% of sheep. Um, sheeple. People. Now, I'm not saying that 99% of people want to be where they are. To me, I see it as layers. Like, here's the top percent of the woke people. Then you would have like a group of people like the LBGTQ group of people that operates outside of the gender norms, the gender binary, outside of that list. And I think it's like a sliding scale where you have the very, very earth type people where they love the money, they love the system, they love being cops, or they like being doctors, or they like being inside of the system. They don't want to know spiritual things. So I think on that scale is how it operates. Like, you have 1%, and then you have 5% of the, the strange people in the universe, the group, the the weirdos, the people that are different. Like myself, I'm not normal, not by a long shot. And then you have the normal people. I think it's that kind of gradient. Now, the lower on the gradient you are, you're not a bad person. You're just deeper in the sink sand of this system, this matrix, and don't want to wake up. Happy with the system. I heard a saying once, which actually makes very sense here, is some prisoners, the longer they stay inside of a prison, the more they accept the environment, their prison, their space that they live in. So I'm thinking that the people at the lower point of the scale has accepted this system. And the higher that's why the group that's at the bottom, not so much like the group in the LGBTQ towards the upper part of the universe where you're more woke, more spiritualistic. I mean, I would say, yeah, up on the scale is, I wouldn't say super spiritual people, but what comes to mind is the Buddhists. I mean, I watched a video on TED Talk just now about this Buddhist guy, master something, talking about a mountain journey. And I think the more you are outside of the system, like if the bottom part is earth and the top part is air, the more you're outside towards the air part of it, or spiritual or something, the more woke you are, the more. So like, you would start at, say, 0% wokeness or 1% wokeness, and then work your way up to being outside of the system, being outside of the group. So for me, what if this lady was down here, and then suddenly went up to one, something shocked out of her system? What comes to mind is that part of the Matrix, Animatrix movie where the kid says, "I believe, Neo." It's so profound. Um, Getting back to this, this is the point where I normally tell people, I don't brag. I'm not better than other people. I'm not weirder than more people. I'm not above anybody. I'm not on the side of anybody. I'm saying that some of us are designed to be outside of this, to balance the equation. 1 plus 1 equals 2, balancing it out day and night, morning and evening. Um, Without us being able to tell the other people that there is a system, they would just accept it. It's their prison. It's their existence. So us, our universe, our planet, whatever, has got its rules and systems in place, and that's maybe what is our matrix and what is our our prison. Now, for me personally, I've always been fascinated with structures around me. Like I would play Jedi Fallen Knights, or I would play a game, and I wouldn't understand the structure at first, the system, but then over a period of time, I understand it. So it's always been a fascination for me how people's body language operates, how the rules of our universe operates, how up is up and down is down, but why could up not be down? For me, it's always been about here's a system and analyzing the system and explaining the system and finding ways to operate within it. Now, some people would find a way to manipulate the system for their own benefits. There are societies and groups that derive money from manipulating the system so that they can get more monetary value for themselves, not spiritual value, but monetary value or physical value. Um, I operate where I walk through the universe and I look at people and I analyze their body language and I analyze their speech patterns and I analyze their existences and I add that other thing that I know about on top of that, and it makes me stand out, makes me feel outside of the universe. Um, so what if I'm wrong? Well, what if there is no system? What if everything is just what Darwin said? It naturally evolved. There's no system controlling us. There's no matrix-like universe. Then it's fine. Being wrong is wrong. Being right is cool. But I personally want to wake up more. I want to be like, I would say, at the end of the Matrix movies where he fights Smith and he like analyzes the speed of how the guy's fighting and then just manipulates that system better. Um, I would say I would like to be more awake so that I can see the system more. Not break it up, not change it, but operate between the cracks. Now, the one thing that the master Buddhist guy said today was, um, let me just check my notes. I made some notes earlier. What does it say? Dullness. Dullness being that accepting your prison, your depression. Well, I don't know anything about depression, so please don't go bashing me about depression and stuff. But basically, what I'm saying is that I want to operate more outside of this matrix type system, like a ghost. See more of the system. I mean, when I asked the universe to give me a 3% perception, I'm now at the point where I want 15% or 500%. Or my favorite movie is Lucy, where she unlocks 100% of her brain. I, I would like to go down that path where I'm more woke, if there's even a word, more able to see the bigger picture. And if need be, if it's really a system, have a capacity to move outside of it. Not to mention the fact that I've seen things in our universe that would shock normal people. I've experienced things, I've seen things of the system that best not be said, because some people that control the system might not want you to out the system. But I'm always reminded of computer programs where there's no complete 100% secure program. There's always a backdoor or something that's created in the code that requires somebody to go in afterwards and adjust something, change something. So I don't know who's gonna see this. Maybe I'm gonna get killed for it. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm just gonna be ignored, labeled as whack. Oh, totally okay. My point for the rambling of this video is this. I'm lying in bed. I'm really comfortable. Is that if that lady found a way to wake up instantly from 90% group to the woke group and further beyond that, because I'm sure there's more, what can I do as a person, not drugs wise, not what can I do with my senses and my body and my spirituality to wake me up further? How can I expand what I know? And how can I teach other people that? Now, putting all that aside, as the person that I am, I understand that there will be people that's not going to agree with me, and it's going to be people that's going to bash, and there's people that's going to agree. That's totally okay. This is my personal opinion. This is the way I operate. I like systems. I like the logic of things. I like mathematics. I like the golden ratio. I like the human pin code. I like anything that can be controlled and adjusted. Years ago, for shits and giggles, I read a book about body language. I think the guy's name was Mark. And it occurred to me that a person's body is a system as well, be it a biological system or the physical system, like a chair or a table or something like that. And it occurred to me that if you have mastery over your own physicality, how to make people feel good around you, how to make yourself feel good, then that extends to assisting and helping or manipulating other people. Now, what is this guy's name? Mark? Something. But anyways, so through my experiences in it, I have found that I have the power to control systems, be it physical systems. I mean, I can move a chair around. You can move a chair around. Some people can move it with their minds. That is totally cool. But anyways, okay, whoa, this is going to be 30 minutes of rambling. Anyways, I'm going to knock off soon. The point is this, people. I want to be more awake, more capable of seeing systems and understanding systems and controlling systems and creating new systems. And the penultimate goal is to, I like this word, ascend, improve to the level where one can be in control of your five gates. I love how that guy said it. Your senses and your desires and control. I wouldn't say power because I'd really like to help people. So for me, it would be something along the lines of learning how to control the system, then help people they want to wake up. People they want to expand. I don't want to create a cult. I don't want money. I don't want physical clothes. I don't want anything that would bog me down. So in conclusion, I would say to be continued. The world we live in has got structure. Now, if you want to call it structure or rules or regulations or forms or whatever, or matrix or reality or you can name it anything you want, there is a system in place that is a prison. And if you don't wake up, I want to wake up further than I am now. I wouldn't mind telepathy. I wouldn't mind telekinesis, the thing where you move the stuff with your brain. I wouldn't mind having time travel abilities. And I wouldn't mind the ability to fly. But that's a totally different topic. Thank you for listening to my ramblings. My name is Chris. Uh, Blessings to all of you. I hope you're all well in this time. And let me know if you like what I talk about or don't. Doesn't matter. You're all amazing. Cheers.